Alright, Schlockmeister fans, also known as the Tempter, we're going to watch something called the Antichrist. Let's check it out. I'm not sure what's happening here, but we got some really overly religious zealots doing some nonsense religious things. And some more. We're somewhere in Italy here. And then there's this guy who certainly looks possessed. He's even got the green pea soup from the Exorcist. This is Ippolita, our star.
Was I paying for a sin at that time?
Don't hate so. You mustn't blame God for something that's my fault.
That's her father. Her mother died in that car accident all those years ago, and she's kind of very close to her dad and finds it upsetting that he's now dating another woman. Mind you, this is like 20 years later.
That's what the beautiful, studious German was looking for here. Other than old books and manuscripts. She was looking for a bed. Father's bed.
She goes to meet her uncle, who's a cardinal at the Vatican.
I know what you're going through, my child. God is testing you. But psychologically disturbed.
Apparently the injury is psychosomatic.
She should be under the care of a good doctor. I recently met an expert in psychiatry, and
it must be a psychic shock.
So she meets him.
A violent trauma of some sort. We must discover what that is. Once we do, maybe I can cure you.
Doctor, I have tried every possible cure.
Oh, it was scientifically proved that precise psychic facts could be transferred from generation to generation. This kind of hypnosis could bring those memories out.
We see a flashback then to the car accident when her dad swerved to avoid hitting a dog. Seatbelts, people. Seatbelts save lives. Something's happening to her. She's...
And it was a man they called Christ.
channeling a past life.
And they called Christ.
It's the devil who speaks in her. She's a witch and speaks Satan's words.
Not. Yes. I can cure Ippolita. Once the trauma experienced by our ancestors has been cleared up, I'm sure we can cure her.
She's still got some daddy issues. That's Mel Ferrer, by the way, her father. Now she's having some sort of dream flashback. This is how she joined with Satan in her past life. Apparently it started by eating a frog's head. And then in her past life, she got defiled, and she's kind of experiencing it now, even though there's nobody there. At this point, it's clear that she's possessed by something, and she's walking again, too. She stumbles upon a tour group in the catacombs and is fancying this guy. She lures him into a side room in these catacombs, and you can guess what happened. Or maybe you can't guess, because his pants are still on. But his head's turned around. Nobody knows that she's possessed yet, so they're trying the old cure thing to see if she's okay now to walk, and yeah, even in her non-possessed role she can walk. But the truth comes out at supper time.
How many have you had? So many cocks you can remember, and you liked it?
And all hell breaks loose.
I'm going to win. I've already won.
And although we don't see the act, she has incest with her brother. That's how you make an Antichrist baby. So the maid brings this guy over who is apparently some sort of exorcist. And he's going to try a couple of things on her. He puts a cane in her wheelchair so she can't move around, but she has a remedy for that. After getting choked and being forced to lick the pea soup vomit from her mouth,
Get out of here.
don't have to tell him twice.
The devil! It's the devil! The devil!
Said peace. Ah, you've ruined my life. You've killed my mother. And you've driven me crazy by your vanity. All the while I was nailed in this chair, you were fucking that whore. You ugly son of a bitch. Didn't Philippe tell her? My brother and I fucked.
That's not true.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did fuck. The baby will be your grandchild.
With your doubts, priest, and your fragile
Her uncle, the cardinal, comes over to see if he can do anything.
In our hour of need,
He
give us
fails.
strength to be triumphant over Satan. We humbly pray.
We all hope so. They've authorized exorcism.
So the church sends over Father Mittner to perform the exorcism. He's got his work cut out for him.
Behold, the cross of God! Satan, be gone! Behold, the cross of God! Satan, be gone!
You have failed. Satan is stronger than the false Christ. Satan wins.
Our possessed Ippolita then takes off running. Where is she headed? Where every possessed woman goes, of course, the Roman Colosseum. She gets pushed against the giant cross that was there, and that basically expels the possession from her. And ends our film. Alright, let's talk about the Antichrist. Never seen this movie before, but this was released on VHS in this country under the title The Tempter. And I remember seeing The Tempter at various video stores, and I always intended to get it and copy it. Just never got around to it. I never saw it, never did. Never had The Tempter. I thought I did, but I didn't. I think I was thinking about a movie I have called The Sender, which I have actually reviewed. Anyway, The Antichrist, this was put out by Kino Lorber very recently, like in the last month or two. This is a brand new release from them. It's a little long, hour and 52 minutes. It's basically an Exorcist ripoff, an Italian-made Exorcist ripoff, one of the very first ones that came out in 1974, which, is that the same year Exorcist came out, or did that come out a year earlier, 73? I can't remember. But anyway, it takes place in Italy, Rome. There's this woman named Ippolita, who's been paralyzed since she was 12 years old, although the doctors think it's psychosomatic. It's just mental in her head. She can really walk, but she just can't. She's been in a wheelchair for like 20 years or something. Her mother died in the crash. Her father was trying to avoid hitting a dog, swerved off the road, so her father's still alive. So anyway, they arranged to have her meet this like parapsychologist or something like that who wants to figure out what's wrong with her. Maybe he can cure her. And he comes up with this hypothesis that she's experiencing like past lives or something like that. And one of her past lives apparently is this woman who was accused of being a witch and killed. And she apparently joined this satanic sect or something like that years ago. And by putting her under hypnosis and figuring all this out, she ends up getting possessed by the devil, I guess. And she starts to relive this past life a little bit. She has these weird flashbacks and memories of what happened in her past life. Well, now she's, 100% possessed, and she can suddenly walk again. Her possessed body can walk. She seduces this guy who's on a tour group in the catacombs, and don't exactly know what exactly to him, but she twisted her head around, and he died. They bring over this would-be exorcist. The maid does. He has no luck with her. She ends up floating out the door and coming back. And then she spits up some green pea soup vomit in her hand and makes the guy lick it. Then he takes off. He's like, screw this. They bring in her uncle to come maybe do something. He's a cardinal at the Vatican. She ends up starting his Bible on fire. That doesn't work. So they eventually call the church, and the church authorizes a legit exorcist to come out and exorcise, I guess. This Father Mittner, he comes out and he does the whole, power of Christ compels you type of stuff. Doesn't say those exact words, actually, but does those sorts of things. He's not having a lot of luck either, but he's having, I guess, some success. At one point, Ippolita decides to take off. She leaves the building and she ends up running downtown to the Colosseum in Rome and goes in there, and there's this giant cross on display. Now, I've been in the Roman Colosseum. I don't think that cross is there. I think it was just a prop for this film. But anyway, she runs to that cross, and then her husband is there actually and kind of shoves her against the cross and then starts yelling some, anti-devil shit. And the next thing you know, her face clears up and the devil's gone and she's no longer possessed, and that's how our movie ends. Boom. There you go. Anyway, that's the Antichrist. A little bit of nudity thrown in from our star there. Plus, there was some weird flashback scenes where there was like an orgy going on. A lot of nakedness there. A little bit of gore, not a whole lot. Some green pea soup. Like I said, this is clearly an Exorcist ripoff. It's a little long in the tooth. Like I said, there's a lot of times when nothing much is happening. It's a little slow, but whatever. It's okay. It's not the greatest movie, but it's okay. I'll just go with that. It's the Antichrist. Great title, by the way. Great box art here. This nice Blu-ray, like I said, that Kina just put out. Got some extras on here. Raising Hell featurette with the co-writer and one of the composers. Some audio commentary from a couple of people as well. And opening credits that shows the alternate title, The Tempter. By the way, opening credits in this movie, I only showed you one of them. It was actually in there twice. They showed the Antichrist, with some like copyright stuff underneath it. And then like a minute later, they showed the same thing without the copyright stuff. It still said the Antichrist. I don't know. It's an opening so good, they showed it twice. That's it. Blu-ray, Antichrist, Kino Lorber. Curious if anybody's seen this thing besides me? Let me know. Leave some comments down below. Watch it. Bye.